Hi there, Karen here, and today I'm doing another layout with the beautiful Kaisercraft Rose Avenue collection, and I'm using this minty green paper as my background with the roses in the bottom left corner. And I'm starting off by covering the whole paper with some clear gesso because I'm going to do some mixed media again, and I'm finding this works quite well if you just covering the whole page with the gesso, and then you can do whatever mixed media you like and you haven't got to worry about not having covered it. So while that's drying, I'm just mixing up some modelling paste with some white acrylic paint again, which is what I've been doing the last couple of layouts, and I'm finding that's really working for keeping the colour of the modelling paste, because otherwise it just seems to fade into the background when it dries. So this keeps it nice and white and makes sure it still shows. So just mixing those together, and in the meantime I've covered the paper with gesso and I've backed it onto some white card to give it a bit of structure and strength to stop it curling up. So I'm now using this diamond pattern stencil that I've had in my stash. It's by the Crafters Workshop, and I haven't used it very often, but it's a really nice stencil. And as you can see, I'm following the line. I'm taking the orientation from the roses in the bottom left corner and going top right, bottom left, because that's the direction the layout's going to go. So again, I'm just putting that aside to dry. And in the meantime, I'm going to back my photo. This is a photo of my daughter and her partner with their new little baby, Alyssa. And it's one of the first pictures I took of the three of them. I thought it'd be nice to have a little family photo. And again, these are papers from the Rose Avenue collection. So they're all beautiful shades of minty green and pale blue, and really, really pretty colours. And I'm just cutting down the paper to fit the photo. And I'm just going to build up a few layers here. And this is my first layer. It's a very pretty colour, this sort of pale blue, I suppose. And then there's this lovely floral blue, little pale blue floral. And I was thinking that that would be my next layer, but then I had a rethink and I looked at the other side and I thought actually that green will make it quite a nice pop of colour in between the layers. Otherwise they're all very, very pastel-y. And you almost have no distinction between them. So I thought I'd use this side for a very fine green layer first, very thin green layer. I'm just cutting that down to size, and then I've got a piece left which I shall turn over and use for my next layer. There we are. Such pretty papers these Kaisercraft Rose Avenue papers are. And just going into my little bag for a doily. This is actually a doily I cut on my silhouette machine a while ago. I did several doilies and I've just put them aside for when I need them. And so it's on quite thick card rather than the very thin paper that most doilies that you buy are on. And this is a piece of paper I found in my stash. It's another shade, this shade of minty green, pale bluey colour. It's just a little odd scrap of paper I had in my layers drawer, and you can see it's got a lovely sheen to it. It's really pretty. And then the final layer is going to be some white tissue. And I'm just going to trim that to size. So there's a couple of pieces of tissue there stuck together. And that just gives the whole thing a little softness as well. Okay, just adding a piece of foam, as I often do, and we can tuck things in behind it. Okay, so back to my my layout. So the diamond what's it called? Modelling paste. That's it. I'm always forgetting that name. The modelling paste is now dried, and I've got some Mr. Huey's Seafoam mist, and I'm just spraying some water and then spraying a bit of the mist and then wriggling around the paper to make it run a bit, just to give a little bit of extra colour and dimension to the diamond pattern there, the dimension there. I quite like. I haven't really done this much before. I've seen it done on a couple of YouTube, so I'm getting a bit more adventurous with my mixed media at the moment, and I thought I'd give this a try. It's just quite a pretty minty green colour. I'm just squirting a little splot and then using my paintbrush to splodge it around and blotting it with my kitchen towel, or if I've got a bit of water to splodge on it, I'm just letting it run. So I've just done a little bit down the whole of the diamond shapes, and now I'm doing some splatters with some Heidi Swap Colour Shine in, I think it's mint, this one. Just giving a good old shake up there. And I'm going to just do some little splatters with the Heidi Shine. I like adding a little bit of sparkle in there. It's just very subtle, the Heidi Shine, but it just gives a nice little sheen. And then the final touch is I've got the teal Heidi Swap Colour Shine mist, and so I'm just mixing that with a little water, and again I'm just going to dab it on, just giving a little bit of more a blue tone to the paint. So I'm just going down part of the diamond shape. You can see it's just bringing out a little bit more of a bluey tone to the background. So I just thought that, and again it's going to have a little bit more of a sheen to it. Loads of this is all going to be covered up in the end. You don't really see an awful lot of it, but I think it was quite good for me to experiment a bit and get a bit more daring with me with my mixed media, because I do want to do some more in the future, even though I ended up covering an awful lot of this up. I'm sort of getting a bit more confident with it now, so there will be more of it in the future, I suspect. Now these are these gorgeous flowers on that sheet. I did a load of fussy cutting for my last layout, and these were the flowers that are left over, all from the same sheet. It's actually the other side of this one I'm using as the background is the fluorite. You do get 2 sheets of each paper in the collection, so the other sheet is now all cut up and being used. And I'm using, again, sticking with that orientation, going top right to bottom left, so that it continues on from the flowers that are already on the paper. And I'm just finding a place to put them all, just laying them out, just trying to see where I want them. And now I've decided that yes, they can. There's enough to just complete that diagonal going across the page, and I'm going to stick them down. And then this last one is just going to be popped up on some foam. And I think I have now stuck my photo in place as well. Now I'm dipping into these Prima flowers that I bought a whole load of, and these are some that are the ones I've got left, and I thought I want a few more flowers on this layout as well. So I'm going a bit mad getting a load out. I tend to sort of put loads of flowers out, and then eventually I calm down and cut it down and make it a more manageable amount, because they're so pretty. I couldn't help myself just putting loads and loads on the page. And I wanted to bring in a bit more of the minty green from the background, or the bluey greeny colour from the background. So I've picked out a mixture of the pinky peachy colours and the minty colours. My natural orientation, I think, whether it's because I'm left-handed, is to go top left to bottom right. That's where most of my layouts tend to go that way. So I find myself putting a load of photographs in the bottom right corner, because that's where I usually end up putting them. But it just looks daft. They don't look right there, because that's not the way the layout is going. And I do realise that even once I've put all these flowers in place, that actually that really doesn't work, and they've got to go. I'm going to stick with the diagonal line that I've got there. And that's where the flowers are going to end up. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do a little bit of stamping in the background. This is a Kaisercraft stamp, and it's called Music Notes, I think. It's called Sheet Music. That's right. So I just put a little bit here and there, because I thought that looked, I quite like the little bit of stamping in between the mixed media. A lot of people do it, and I really like that look. So I've just put a little bit of the music notes in between here and there, and now I'm having another go with these beautiful fabric flowers. And I thought, no, stick to the line that I've actually that's already there, and just put them on those two corners. It felt quite strange going in this direction for me. I'm not used to doing a layout this way around. So what I decided to do is, instead of clustering them all around the photo, I'm tucking a few here and there in amongst the die cut flowers, or the fussy cut flowers that I've stuck on, and I'm just tucking some of them in and out of those flowers, and I think that I prefer that look. It makes it look not quite so top heavy. And now I've just put my title here on some wax paper, just so I can try it out. It's just called New Little Family, and the New and the Family are some really pretty glitter foam thickers, some white glitter foam thickers, and the font is called Sunny. I've had those in my stash for ages. And the little is some puffy. I bought a whole bunch of Pink Fresh Studio puffy alphas in lots of different colours, and these are the ones in the peach. So they're just so that the little is in the peach. So right here I'm just deciding to actually stick the flowers down before I commit to the layout, because I think I just want to see roughly where the title was going to go before I stuck the flowers down, in case I needed to move them. But I decided that works where they are. So the flowers are now stuck down, and I'm sticking down the title. And I found these in my stash. I don't very often dip into my wood veneers. I don't have a huge number of them, but I do have these little, I don't know if they call them potty people, but these little wood veneer people. And I had two larger ones, and I've picked out a little tiny girly one. I thought that was quite cute with the new family. So she's not, there wasn't a baby one, but I think it's small enough to see, so you get the idea of the family of two adults and a little girl. And I just popped that there. I thought that looked quite nice. Made it something a bit different. I don't use wood veneer that often. Not that I don't like them, I just don't think to reach for them very often. And I have punched out, from that shiny minty coloured paper, I had some left over. So I've punched out some butterflies and stuck one on top of the other, so that you've got a little bit of, the wings are just sticking up a little bit. And I put some pearls down the middle for the bodies, and I've just popped those around the page. They look really pretty, and they blend, they really go very well with the background paper. And I do like those. They're rather pretty. Now I found these in my stash as well. It was in the same box, I think, as the wood veneer. I found these little gems, and again in this lovely aqua colour. So I just thought they go really well with the layout. I shall pop those around the page too. And then the final touch, I've picked out this Nuvo Drops bottle. I nearly cut this part of the layout out, and then I thought, no, I'm going to show all my mistakes as well as the bits I'm pleased with. I was trying to do a little swirl of dots, of little pearly dots. This Nuvo Drops, I don't know what it's called, but the colour matched beautifully with the layout. But my attempt at doing a pearly swirl was a bit pathetic. It didn't really work very well. As you can see, I didn't really have very good control of the shape. I probably should have drawn it first, so it just looks a bit silly. So then I thought, well, I'll just do some dots, like enamel dots, make it look like enamel dots. And then for some reason, I end up doing this rather strange diagonal line of larger dots. I just completely, it was a complete epic fail, but never mind. I kept it in anyway. So thank you for watching, and do join me again soon. Goodbye.